Hi, it's Monday, the 25th of November, and we're here to look at the daily astrology and the interesting things coming up. I've actually just spent a minute or two, and I don't know why I did this, looking at Vladimir Putin's chart. Um, just a whim. There's a couple of things that I could say about it without causing too much consternation in the Kremlin. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. But first of all, let us share and look at today's chart, which is what we're here for. Okay. Right. Okay. So we have the sun at 3 degrees of Sagittarius, and still we have Mercury and Athena in Aquarius, in Sagittarius as well. Excuse me. Um, So Mercury has stationed now. But I'm just going to stop the share for a moment and just talk to you about this whole thing about Mercury retrograde. If you have been following my work for the last 30 years, then you'll know what I think about it. But I'm just going to repeat it for anybody who had has joined us recently, and thank you very much for doing so. Right. So when a planet goes retrograde, and not necessarily Mercury here, when a planet goes retrograde, what it does is it goes back through the sky. So it looks as if it's going back through the sky. The planet itself is not, but it looks like it's going backwards. So it's going back over degrees, but it is already trodden. So it comes through, let's say 20, 21, 22 degrees. It appears to stop. And then from our perspective, it appears to go back 22, 21, 2019. Now think about that. This is what retrograde means, right? Well, it's just going over some ground that it was on before. And so basically what it means is it's going to retrace its steps. So we do the same really with what we notice. Um, Mercury is about communication. You'll hear it's about communication and news and discovering things and what we notice. And however, um, it is also about siblings and short journeys. It's anything which is a snatch of something, just a little bit of something. It's about local neighborhood. And if it's going to retrace its footsteps, then it's going to go over something that you've previously noticed: communication, um, information, something that you've read, something that you've watched. It's going to come up again and draw attention to itself in some way. And it really, as far as I'm concerned, so I've got a sun in Gemini, so Mercury is my ruling planet, and I know what it means to me. It means I will stop and go over something again that I skimmed past the first time, and so I get an opportunity to revisit. Now, there are certainly planetary symbols that can cause major breakdown. But I don't think that Mercury is responsible for this. I think what Mercury is doing is simply going over ground and allowing us to dwell on it and rethink the whole idea, or rethink our reaction to it, or rethink how we perceive it. So there we go. Right, I'll go back to the share now. I know you're going to see all kinds of different things on the internet. Just bear in mind what I'm saying too. Okay, right. So back to the share. That covers the sun. Now, the moon at the moment is in Libra, 3 degrees of Libra. So what we've got here is what we call a sextile. There are 60 degrees between these two planets. So everything in astrology is called a planet, whether it's the moon and the sun or it's a planet, it's still called a planet. Oh, just for ease, really. Okay, this means that they are supporting each other. They are not hindering each other. They're not putting obstacles in each other's way. They're perfectly fine and convivial with each other. There is a conversation, and it's a good one, or it's a reasonable one. They are supportive, facilitating. Okay, they're in masculine signs, so every opportunity for action, get out there, do it, finish putting up the Christmas lights if you're in the UK, etc. And now we've got quite a bit of energy around here, because now I'm just going to go at sextile again, so another 60 degrees, and then we've got Mars in Leo. Okay, so we've now got a sort of a nice jump there, which puts then these three in trine, because, sorry, these two in trine. So it puts Mars and the Sun in trine to each other, 120 degrees, and then halfway between them, 60 degrees each side, is the Moon. Now, what this does then, I'll just stop the share again, 1 second. Ta-da. There we go. So what this does is it puts those three planets in a formation, or in what we call an aspect to each other, which is harmonious, facilitating. And so it gives us a boost of masculine, start there, but fire energy. We've got a lot of fire in there. And so we've got a lot of energy to do whatever we want to do, really. It should be a case of feeling energetic and feeling like you can get on with stuff. And if you are wanting to start a project, or if you're doing something in particular that you want to get finished, this says, yeah, okay, this is the atmosphere in which to do it. Okay, this is a good time. Now, because there is such hype about Mercury retrograde and what that means, I don't want you to listen to that and fail to pick up on the energy that is out there, which is very positive, has lots of joy, but also verve. There's a lot of life in it. There's a lot of activity in it. So I don't want you to miss that and the opportunity that comes with that action, because you're hiding under a duvet in your cellar, because somebody has told you that Mercury retrograde is a doomed and crisis-ridden thing. It's not. It's just not. Okay, so right, let's go back to the share and see if there's anything else interesting. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we also have here now then Venus is in Capricorn. Capricorn, high Earth planet, sorry, Capricorn, high Earth sign. It's the highest Earth sign. Venus, an Earth planet. So Venus sort of understands Capricorn, really. If Capricorn is about enjoying and admiring the highest potential of Earth, so that means everything you could accrue, everything that you can earn, the things that you can possess. It's a real appreciation of the material things in life. Then Venus is quite happy to go, yeah, okay, let's have some more, another BMW, and let's have another pension fund, etc. So Venus is reasonably happy there. It really kind of means that we've got one eye on the fact that we want to be careful with money, to accrue, to protect possessions, things like that. There is an attractiveness about earthly things and material things. But we've also got this thing in fire going on here, and Libra is a masculine sign, so all good stuff. Right. I'm going to just stop that share there. Okay, thank you. Now, I don't know why I said, I just wanted to, that's today's astrology, by the way. And I just want to a quick glance at Vladimir Putin's chart, just if you're interested, I don't know. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, 1 second, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to change these charts over. There we are. And I'm just going to put this up. And then I am going to share with you. Okay. So, right, I have to drop that first. Sorry, I'm messing around here. Must be very boring for you. You can hum or something whilst you're waiting. Make up your Christmas present list. I'll be with you in a minute. Right, here we go. Right, sorry about that. You know what a silly thing I am. Right, here he is. Okay. Right. Now I've got a couple of observations here, really. And one is that he has a pile of planets in the 12th house. So the 12th house is a place which removes the power of the planets in it. So it tells that person that they have to give themselves up to a greater power. Okay. Now, when you've got complicated planets in there, like you've got a Sun, Saturn, and a Sun, Saturn, Neptune as well, if you take a wide orb there, then you have somebody, and I'm going to refer now to the IC, just to double check this. You have somebody, refer to the IC, who has had a difficult childhood because his childhood was fairly emotionless, and there wasn't any emotion available. Somebody was quite cold, and so another parent also was largely missing. There's a quality here about that parent. Either they were missing and didn't spend a lot of time at home, or when they were home, they seemed distant and emotionally distant. Okay, and then put the Sun and Saturn and Neptune together, and what you're saying is there is no great role model here for feeling powerful and strong. Okay, so all right, you're going to go, no, come on, let me just finish. There's no great role model for that. In fact, there is a sense of not being able to get a sense of your own identity. That for this person, it's difficult to grasp a sense of strong identity and to feel confident with that, because the 12th house is removing power. Saturn is saying, you haven't got the resources, you're not strong enough. It's as if there is a criticizing father permanently on his shoulder, criticizing him. Well, you could have got more if you'd have worked harder in your maths exam. Well, you could have scored a goal if you'd done it like I told you to do it. You haven't done it in the proper way. There is something about his past that makes it difficult for him to believe that he is strong or confident in that. Right. Okay. Now, you're going to say, what? And I'm going to say, yes, but. Now, this Scorpio ascendant gives him a mask, and we will never see what's going on inside. He can play a great game of poker. Scorpio hides everything that's going on inside, and the more emotional turmoil is going on inside, the more that the scorpionic mask remains pretty rigid. You'll never crack it. You can't get under it. Okay, this is where everything counts. This is how the world sees him. This is midheaven. This is how the world sees him, and that is Pluto. And Pluto is almost exactly conjunct that MC, the midheaven, and a south node. Right, that is telling a different story. The South Node is the South Node, North Node here are saying that when he was born, there was a sense of destiny, a sense of karma going on, something to do with an inheritance. So he must have been in some way uh, destined through a distant karmic inheritance to take a role that was going to make him very powerful. Okay. Now we've got Leo here, right? We've got Pluto here. So this is powerful. It truly is. And because this is where the outside world sees us and we want to leave something for the outside world to see, we're very aware with our midheaven that we want to put on a good impression that this is the way that we see the world, the way the world sees us, and it's where we're on display. Okay, I'll just stop sharing 1 second if I can. There we go. And so therefore, when it comes to his profession, his career, his vocation, okay, so, he is the leading elite of one of the world's important countries, then he wants the world to know that, but he wants to be liked, he wants to be admired, he wants to be successful, and it matters to him. And the reason it matters is because deep inside, underneath that Scorpio mask, there, the astrology tells me that he actually is not that confident, that something from his childhood makes him question himself, but he has constructed a very clever defense mechanism, which will cover that up, and nobody's ever going to get there. But therefore, it becomes of paramount importance when it comes to that Leo on the midheaven. It is very important that he is respected and admired and given every accolade, given attention, giving applause. He wants an audience to make him feel that he is special. And also with Leo, it's a fixed sign. You get the usual thing about nobody else is going to tell me. I'm the boss here, and that's it. So he wants to be the boss, and he wants control. Now with Pluto there, yes, he wants control. Pluto's all about control, but he wants the control to transform the world as he sees it, and he wants to make it what he thinks it should become. So that's me. That's quite an interesting analysis. Now, I'm not going to say either way, because I wouldn't be being an astrologer then. I'd be a political commentator, and that's not my job. But as an astrologer, then I, many years ago, would have been asked for my opinion on this leader by whoever I was working for at the time. And I would have been happy to give that that reading as far as I see it. I think we're very lucky to have his time of birth. I think that's excellent. I'm pleased about that. He has a moon in Gemini, actually, and it's in the 7th house. So as far as his feminine is concerned, so we've got this yang that's very much on display with the Leo on the midheaven there, but he got something else also to say that he tends to, or he would look towards a significant other to be the one who is conciliatory or chats. So he must have people around him who he trusts to do the talking behind closed doors or something like that. He just needs to appear the leader, the boss, and get his way, really, according to the midheaven. Right, there we go. There we go. Whatever. And I am now going to leave you with that and say it was great to talk to you, and I shall see you tomorrow when we must discuss the new moon in Sagittarius, mustn't we? Or I will. And thank you for listening. Right, where are we? Come on. There we go, this stop recording thing. gets worse every time. There we go. It's lovely to talk to you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Bye.